Welcome to A Shot of Ag. My name is Rob Sharkey. I've got an antler in my way. We'll do it this way. I'm a fifth-generation farmer from just outside of Bradford, Illinois. Yes, I'm also a certified, licensed Illinois whitetail deer outfitter, which we don't talk too much here on A Shot of Ag, but it is one of my passions. And that brings us to our guest today, Curtis Geyer. How you doing, Curtis?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is quite the, what do you call it?
Well, it's a little over the top, I know, but it's like the real version replica of our logo.
Yeah.
So
this doesn't work though, huh?
No, it'd be cool if it did, but I think I'd poke myself in the eye in studio trying to talk and do it. But
really, if you were going to do this though, why didn't you? Yeah, you should have wired that up.
So this was a surprise from the guys at Classic Racks Co. And they do like printed replicas. Is that a plug?
Unsolicited plug.
Oh, give them credit for the nice gift they gave me.
Oh, yeah, I would. If they wanted to give somebody else a gift.
I'm trying to help us both out here, man. This is a gift from the Illinois Deer Classic that they surprised us with, so pretty
Not
cool.
to get too hung up on this, but this is a 3D printed?
I guess, yeah. It's some sort of 3D printed replica, and they do replicas for other people's antlers and stuff like that.
So if you shoot a buck, you take measurements or pictures?
They scan it. They 3D scan it.
Really?
And then they have that captured, and then they have big printers that print them out, and then they custom paint them.
I know you can't see this really too well on TV, but this looks like something that you would find out in the woods.
Yeah, it's like if a deer grew our logo, is what it is.
A very mutated deer that had a microphone coming out of the brow tine.
A little different, but it works, right?
You're from New Windsor?
New Windsor, Illinois,
Tell people where that is at.
We're between Galesburg, Illinois, and the Quad Cities, just south of Moline, Illinois.
Okay.
So, yep.
How long of a drive to here, to Peoria?
A little less than an hour.
Okay.
About an hour.
That's where I met you, was at the whatever farm deer.
Yeah, Illinois Deer Classic, yeah.
Okay. Do you guys go to that every year?
Yep. Yeah, we do basically all the Midwest deer shows that we can. We hit back-to-back consumer shows during our show season and kind of get brand exposure that way.
You are a podcaster.
Yep. It sounds lame nowadays, I feel like.
It's embarrassing. Really.
It kind of is really now. It's like I got to think of a better way to tell people what I do for a living.
I know. It's kind of like it used to be, I have a blog. Now
right, yeah. No one wants to be called a blogger, really. Yeah.
It's sad, but you've been doing it since 2015.
Yeah.
I didn't even know podcasts. That was like at the very start.
Yeah, it was. So I had just got into like listening to podcasts just before, and I looked up some hunting podcasts, and there wasn't really many available that I felt related to me. So I was like, that'd be kind of fun to start one, and just dove into it.
Yeah. You know, originally our podcast was going to be a hunting podcast.
Oh, really?
We had a hunter come in, Carrie Zilka from Wisconsin, and she was doing the hunt, fish, travel podcast.
I think I've done her show, actually.
Have you?
Yeah.
And the more she was talking about it, I'm like, this is great, because I had a notebook of funny hunting stories.
Yeah.
And I pulled in some hunters. We recorded it.
Yeah.
And if you were there when they were hunting and you knew the people, it's the funniest half hour you've ever heard in your life. If you don't know them and you weren't there, it's the biggest waste of time you've ever.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Because it's funny if you know the people. But
we're comfortable, man, with like everyone. We just have fun conversating, so it's just natural.
How many people are involved?
So me, Eric, and Doug Schmidt are the main three, and then we have two extras, Ross Bigger, Austin Chandler. They're not on as often, but it's always me, Eric Hammond, and Doug Schmidt. We're the main crew of Working Class Bow Hunter.
And is this your main gig?
Yeah, I do this full time. I've done it full time for just over a year.
Isn't that something?
It's amazing, actually.
What did you do?
So before this, I worked at John Deere, actually. I worked at Product Development for Deere.
It's a fine company. Make fine equipment.
Yeah. It's no Gleaner, but.
Oh, okay. This interview just got a lot more fun.
I'm getting them fired up. Yeah, the blue glass.
Did you think when you started this thing that it could be eventually my main source of income?
No, I didn't really. It was more just like a fun side project thing to do because I loved hunting so much. And then after doing a couple hundred episodes, it started to gain some traction and some interest from companies and partnerships. And so I started to realize after a few years, there could be something here. There's a way to make money. But not at first, definitely not.
But you had no playbook. Really,
No.
when you talk to a company, it was like, how much do I charge for podcast advertising? How'd you figure that all out?
So I was fortunate enough to meet a guy named Chase Rawson who owns a big marketing company in the outdoor industry, and he contacted me first. He was like our first big he gave us our chance in the outdoor industry. He's like, hey man, I have some ideas, some brands I work with. How do you guys structure it? And at the time, we didn't have a structure, so I'm like, I don't know, can you help me put something together? So he's kind of been like my main mentor and helped structure like how we do our ad pricing and our partnership deals and how to monetize it really in the best efficient way possible. And we've kind of just molded our own program for it, and it's done well for us.
The name of the podcast?
Working Class Bowhunter Podcast.
Okay, and you do two, right?
So we do Working Class Bowhunter Podcast, which launches every Thursday.
Yeah.
And we do Working Class on Deercast, which is a clean version of our show. And that launches on everywhere, all podcast platforms, but it also launches on Drury Outdoors Deercast.
How'd you line that? That's a big name in hunting.
So I think where the Drury Outdoor connection started for us, Chase is good friends with the Drurys, and they did a farm giveaway to promote Deercast when Deercast
They gave away
launched.
a farm?
They gave away a farm to promote Deercast and get it kicked off the ground. So
How big of a farm?
a 40-acre farm.
Holy
in Iowa.
cow.
Oh, no, in Missouri. So we were the first show when they announced their giveaway to promote the farm giveaway. We were the first media coverage, and we got to meet Drury on another level by doing that, helping promote the farm giveaway and Deercast. And it kind of just rolled into a friendship with me and Mark Drury, and we got to talk, and he's like, hey, why are we not doing something in a partnership way for Deercast?
It's because you're naughty.
We're naughty.
You cuss.
We cuss, but the cool thing is it'd be weird if they started cussing on their show.
Yeah.
So it's a way for them, from my perspective, for them to tap into the working class listener, which I think is the majority of people that listen to podcasts.
So basically, the one you do with Drury, though, it's tamed down.
It's clean, yeah.
Is
it's
it
clean.
PG or PG-13?
It could be PG-13. We're pretty good about it.
Okay.
It's hard to go it's complete opposite of what a normal show is.
Is it hard to be laying F-bombs everywhere and all of a sudden you can't?
I've slipped up for sure.
Well, you can beep it out.
Yeah,
it's not
but-
live, is it?
No, I put turkey gobbles over the other cuss words, which makes it
that's-
more fun, you know? I guess it works.
That had to be, because all of a sudden, and I can kind of relate. I hope I can relate.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing this thing, you don't really even know if it's making a difference, and all of a sudden, someone that you respect says, hey, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
That had to feel really well.
Well, yeah, the Drurys are like my childhood heroes, you know what I mean? I looked up to them growing up. That's how I got motivated to go hunting when I was a kid, is I watched all their videos and was just, the biggest fan ever of them. And then once I started to become friends with Mark, Mark would call me or FaceTime me, and my wife always would be like, 12-year-old Kurt is freaking out right now. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. I'd still freak out about it, honestly. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Were you all into hunting before you started this?
Oh, yeah. I've hunted since I was a kid, and that's really, I went through the phase, I think, where most kids that are passionate, do I want to film hunts? What do I want to do to, make it more, take the hobby a step further, I guess. And I was fortunate enough to fall into podcasting, I think, at the right time for our industry.
Well, don't you think that helps? You got to be passionate about what you're talking about, or else people can tell.
Yeah, I think, especially with our show, some of our episodes are 3 hours long, and it's hard to fake it for that long. You know what I mean? So
It's hard to do anything for 3 hours.
It's hard, yeah.
What's the biggest buck you've shot?
I shot a 167 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's funny. I've shot a 168.
You gotta one up me, don't you? I got eyes on a bigger one, and I'll come back and one up you back next time. I'll have you on my show, and then I'll talk about all the stuff that I've killed that you haven't, and we'll go from there.
No, I'm an outfitter. I've never claimed to be a good hunter. But for real quick, if people don't understand what you just said, most people look at this and go, well, it's an 8-point buck. Where are they talking about 160? Give the quick rundown.
Yeah, so another fun, I guess this would be a fun fact I should have given you. I am an official measurer, so I forget about it though. It's just part of that's what I do. I don't know. So yeah, you basically measure the G1, the G2, G3, the main beams, 4 mass measurements, inside spread, and that comes out to a score.
Yeah.
So.
And there's a lot of other goofy rules too, like if it's too close together or what all this stuff.
Yeah, different. Like you know, your spread can't be longer than your beams and stuff like that. So
yeah. Do you just go green score? That's what we do.
yeah, because nets are for fishing, like everybody says. You know.
Yeah. So. Oh, that's fun. I've never heard that.
You never heard? Yeah, you have.
No, actually, I haven't.
You've never heard nets are for fishing?
No.
Oh man. Well, yeah, that's how we operate.
Okay. Now I feel silly.
Sorry.
You guys are doing good. You've actually won an award. Tell me about the Golden Arrow.
Yeah. So the Golden Arrow Awards is like a fan voted podcast outdoor industry podcast award, and yeah, we won. They voted and we won the Golden Arrow Award, which the award is not a golden arrow, like you pointed out. You know?
It's not.
No, which is weird, right?
What is it?
It's like they gave us like a glass engraved thing, which is it's cool, but it could be better.
Yeah, but that doesn't bring much when you go to sell it on eBay.
Right. Yeah. Well, how am I supposed to? Yeah. Nothing going on there.
I mean, it's got to feel good though that isn't like an award. A lot of times these awards are given by whatever the association of outdoor broadcasters.
Yeah.
And it's voted by like a few people that are going to give it to their friends. You guys actually won one from your fans.
Yeah, and you know, if it was like an industry, like outdoor industry inside thing, like picked by the industry, I really don't know how much traction we would have, even though we have a lot of listeners and a lot of backing behind our show. We don't fit the industry norm.
Yeah.
Because of how we talk, and we're just who we are. We're not putting anything on when we hit the record button. So, and I think that's uncomfortable for a lot of the industry.
Yeah. You guys have your own studio?
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to buy a building in downtown New Windsor. It was a hair salon, and we renovated it to make it into a recording studio.
Is that so you could have Wi-Fi?
Well, yeah, you need Wi-Fi. But
yeah.
We actually had to frame in a studio in the building because the ceilings were so high.
Does it still smell like perms in there? And
no, it don't. We took everything out. Where the wet, like the wash bowls were.
Yeah.
We put a wet bar there, and then we put all natural like cedar and stuff in it. So it smells like a hamster cage and whiskey. It's pretty much.
Did the people in New Windsor know what you're doing?
So at first I was kind of like. I wanted to make, I don't know, I was worried that I didn't want anyone really knowing. I was like sort of not bashful about it, but didn't want anybody in our business.
Yeah.
So we had no sign. We tinted out the windows so you couldn't see. And then the mayor is actually a listener. And so he kind of heard about it in some like city hall meetings that people were excited about it.
Yeah.
So then I kind of got more comfortable after about a year being there. We put a sign up and now we're pretty open about it.
Do you bring people in, Skype? How do you do it?
We try to do every guest in studio. I'm pretty sure we have more in-studio guests than any other outdoor industry podcast.
That's tough.
It's tough,
Get people
but
there.
we have a bedroom there when people come in. We try to make like a camp feel out of it, where you can come and stay and it's comfortable and nice.
Do you give massages?
Not yet. We're working. We're going to hire somebody for that. We're working on that part of it.
Yeah. I mean, do you get people from all over the country, though?
Yeah, we had guys fly in from Oregon. We had our PH from South Africa. He flew in and did a podcast.
PH?
Yeah, professional hunter. So it's the guide over there, but they like to be called PHs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he flew in, did a podcast with us to talk about Africa and why you hunt and where the meat goes and stuff like that.
That's a touchy one. I mean, you talk about hunting in Africa. You talk about people getting...
They get weird fast.
They get a little upset.
They get weird fast. But, it's just it's a misunderstanding of how it works over there.
Why is that?
Well, people think that it's just like, they think just trophy hunting. And people don't understand that trophy hunting is selective hunting. And selective hunting is shooting mature animals that have lived the majority of their life, that are as big as they're going to be. And then over there, you donate all the meat. So you donate it to schools, to orphanages, to tribes. It all goes to a good cause. All of it gets donated. And I think people just think the meat goes to waste because they know you can't ship all the meat back. So I think it's hard for people to wrap their head around that it's actually, South Africa needs hunting. It's one of the few things that keeps things operating over there. It's what keeps the animals there.
Let's talk about Illinois. I mean, do you eat what you shoot here?
Everything. I've never bought a pound of ground beef in my life.
Really?
Yeah. A restaurant, is different, but for home, I've never bought a pound of ground beef.
Do you eat a heart too?
Yeah, we do actually.
We eat one a year because it's
like a treat.
It's about enough.
Really?
It's good, but it's like, okay, we ate one already.
Oh, I love it. Salt, garlic salt, fried with onions.
We do it with we heavily pepper.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, but it's like I said, about one a year.
I love it. Yeah, and the kids like it too, surprisingly. But
You and I have both been outdoors. We know what happens when you don't hunt. I mean, nature's going to take care of itself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know don't email me on this because I really don't care. You get too much population. We've seen what happened to blue tongue. I know there's no correlation scientifically, whatever. Nature takes care of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to explain that to someone who really just likes to watch deer.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for people to wrap their head around that. Most hunters, I think most hunters that are in it the way we're into it, where we really care about like not a deer, but deer. It's hard for them to really understand that. I guarantee I care about deer more than a non-hunter cares about deer. Like, there's no question. My life is surrounded and dedicated to the white-tailed deer.
Yeah.
So, and it might not make sense to some people, but there's a structure, and you have to, we're not trying to shoot all the deer.
Yeah.
Typically, we're trying to shoot one deer.
Yeah. And believe me, for people at home, there's a whole argument within the hunting community, what you do shoot, what you don't shoot.
Yeah.
It's hard to pass up a deer like this because he'll be bigger next year, and then he goes over to the neighbor, and this is a trophy of a lifetime for a neighbor. I mean, what do you say?
It's just part of it, man. In our community, a lot of it shoot what makes you happy. But I think it's the trend of trying to shoot more mature animals is catching on more and more. Bigger deer are usually more interesting. It's better to shoot bigger deer than to shoot fawns or obviously not shoot fawns, but younger deer, 2-year-old deer. It's just cooler to see antlers grow too, and that's always part of that.
That there is that desire to like kind of be in the club, and sometimes a person has to maybe go through some 120s before they realize what a 120 is and what it can become.
Yeah, I call that climbing the ladder of bow hunting.
Oh, you're good. You got all the...
Well, because I went through it.
Yeah. So did I.
When I was a kid, I shot a couple 120s. For a kid, that's great. It's a great thing to get somebody younger into it. But as I got older, I got more into... I'm more into the chase and the fun of putting the puzzle together than I am just shooting deer just for the sake of shooting deer.
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people understand, too, there are target bucks.
Yeah.
They're the ones you were definitely after, and you're going to let a very nice buck walk because there's a bigger one. It's the cameras help quite a bit with that.
Yeah, they help. They help because you can monitor the deer. You can study like what the age class is of a certain deer, and that's really my big thing. Antlers are always a bonus, but age class, if you can shoot, a buck can be 5, 6.5, but have 120-inch rack still.
Yeah.
And you can just tell. I mean, that's a perfect deer to shoot, I think,
Well, and the people that think that you have these satellite cameras, cellular cameras, you see the deer out there, it sends you a picture on your phone, you can go out and shoot it. That is not how it works.
Well, it's weird. I'm not just sitting at home in my living room fully dressed in camo with bow in the hand waiting for my phone to go off so I can hurry up and run out and shoot one. It never works out that way.
Yeah.
It's I think the benefit for a cell cam more than that is getting the data in real time for what the conditions are and why the deer's doing that when he's doing it.
Exactly. Plus you can see the poachers.
That helps. I mean,
does.
It's great for trespassing too.
It literally is. I mean, it probably. I mean, I've been an outfitter for 24 years. I think the cellular cameras have deterred the trespassers more than anything.
Well, yeah. I mean, who wants to go walk on a property or even like mushroom hunting on a property when there's cell cams on every corner of the piece and you're going to get outed.
You can put that stuff up on Facebook too. Really,
you can call somebody out pretty easily nowadays.
Well, what are you hoping this podcast evolves into?
I'm loving the way it's going. I mean, we got a bunch of ideas. We just acquired a firearm podcast that we started to kind of tap into that side of things because we're mostly just bow hunting.
You bought one?
Well, we started it, yeah.
Oh,
so we have
okay.
a host that runs it for us. But yeah, Working Class Bow Hunter owns it. It's called the Victory Drive.
Really?
Yeah, we have a host, Jacob Johnson. He's a Army vet who runs
So you're
that.
getting to be like a podcasting admiral.
I'll take that. Yeah, I like that.
Well, I mean, you are. You're going to have, I don't know, is it like a whole network?
Kind of, yeah. Just kind of like shows that it's like we own them. It tells it's got our stamp of approval on them.
Gotcha.
We have a fishing one coming. Actually, we haven't really announced that anywhere, so this is like an exclusive drop. There it is. And that's called Tackling Tacos. So they're going to eat a taco.
It is not.
Yeah. A new taco every week. and a new fishing conversation every week.
Oh, I thought you were being naughty again.
No, come on. I'm not naughty, man. I'm a good guy.
I've listened to your podcast. I mean, honestly, it's like I'm sitting in my hunting lodge listening to the guys.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Real, and it's not like we have to be like, all right, hit the button. All right, now turn on your hunting camp voice. It's just, we're just doing what we're doing.
But it annoys me a little bit. I know it shouldn't, but it annoys me a little bit when people say, oh, if we just set up a microphone in our lodge or our camp, then it'd be the best podcast. It does. It takes work.
You still have a job to do.
Yeah.
Like you still have to navigate it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just like reckless abandon on every. Sometimes it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of fun every now and again. But you still have a job to do. You still have to navigate conversation and do it like there's actually going to be people listening. Because if you didn't, no one would know what was going on.
Yeah. Any venture into the video side of it?
That's a question that keeps coming up when we do the consumer shows. And
Unfortunately, you have that whole thing to deal with.
my face, yes,
Yeah.
it's tough. That's a tough look. But you know,
I overcame it.
We could put the camera behind me and just film the back of my head, and then that's it. That's why we have what do they say, face for radio?
That's right.
Yeah.
But it seems these days it's kind of the next logical step.
There's just so much of it.
Yeah.
Like we hit podcasts at the right time. Like we were one of the first. I
Yeah.
feel like we pioneered the modern hunting podcast now.
Yeah.
Like I feel confident in saying that. If you jump into video now, everyone's trying to do it.
Yeah.
So,
If people want to find you, where do they go? Social media, internet?
yeah, workingclassbowhunter.com, Working Class Bowhunter Podcast, anywhere you find podcasts, and
Okay.
Drury Outdoors Deercast.
For the youngins, they probably want the Drury, right?
Yeah, and that series is still available on our normal like Spotify feed. You
Mm-hmm.
can still find that there, but everything else is there as well. But every Monday on Drury Outdoors Deercast, we're there.
Okay. Again, that's super cool that you were able to.
It's a dream come true. It really is.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
We all grew up watching the TV shows and the videos. That was
Yeah.
the one you watched?
Oh yeah, I mean, Mark is my hero, Mark
Yeah.
and Terry, and to be able to just have a normal phone conversation with Mark, just about, hey, how's the show doing? I think about it every day. How lucky we are.
Do you?
I really do.
For one of our advertisers, Ag Leader, we interviewed Lee Lakowski.
Mm-hmm.
And after an hour talking to him, I'm like, I would never work that hard. The amount of work you guys put into hunting and that is unreal.
It's crazy. And Mark's the same way. Like, those guys never stop.
Yeah.
They think that they hunt for a living. And
Yeah.
I always say nobody hunts for a living.
Do you have a hard time finding a spot to hunt?
I was just lucky enough to buy a 40-acre farm. My wife did.
Whew, that podcasting.
Yeah, it's taken off. But yeah, so I'm fortunate there. But I do a lot of work for farmers to gain permission like a permission access or trespass fee or whatever you call it.
Yeah,
So
I tell you, that could be a whole new show. Unfortunately, we do not have enough time. Curtis Geyer, go check him out. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
It is not easy to do what you guys have done, and I can tell you firsthand, I truly understand the success that you have and well deserved.
thank you.
So Curtis, thank you very much. Everybody else, we'll catch you next time.